Hello, my loves, and welcome to your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. Our final one of 2025. And together this week, we walk into a new traditional year together. Now, just a little reminder here at this moment, many of you know that I don't really celebrate the traditional New Year. I hold my New Year at the spring equinox, which is going to come on I think it's the 20th of March in 2026. That for me is a time when then nature is on our side to begin to grow and create and move into new beginnings. I find it's very, very difficult to set intentions and to really make things happen out there in the world when everything in the world is still hibernating, still under the ground. It's cold, it's dark, it's the time we're meant to be cozied up in our hearts and our homes. And so for me, I do mark the transition of the traditional New Year, and actually the astrology of this week is going to really help us to do that. But don't feel like all of a sudden on January the 1st, your life's got to change and you've got to have it all figured out and everything's just suddenly got to be a certain way. But instead, I found over the years that moving into the year really slowly, really intentionally, really from the inside out rather than the outside in and rushing out there into the world has just served me much, much better. And so I give myself time to dream and to imagine and to perhaps begin to create on the inside. And then in alignment with nature, I start to see the new growth, the new beginnings take place then at the spring equinox. So I invite you to maybe do the same, especially if New Year's always felt a bit sticky for you. You know, everyone seems to run back into the new year and everyone's going to the gym and doing this and doing this. And it just feels really counterintuitive. And then normally by the end of kind of Jan, Feb, we've got off track. We're exhausted again. We don't know what's going on. So my invite to you is to just go into the year like nature, go in slowly, go in gently, give yourself time to begin to feel your way into the year. What does the year feel like for me? What energy does the year hold for me? What do I want from this year? And how can I begin to gradually make those things happen rather than like this hard reset on the 1st of January, which again, for our nervous systems, especially after such a busy time of year, it can feel kind of a little bit jarring. And on that note, we are doing a morning ritual series from Monday, I think it's the 5th, to the Friday, the 9th of January this year, where we're going to intentionally come into the year in deep devotion and honouring and listening. And so if that sounds like the kind of a start to the year that you want, you'll find details, website and all those kind of places. So yeah, we'd love to have you join us. So let's get into the Astro Week. Our astrological energy begins on Tuesday when we get Mercury square Saturn. Now, this is going to be really interesting coming just before the beginning of the traditional New Year because Saturn is the teacher of the zodiac. And so this is going to be a really beautiful opportunity to learn the lessons from the year gone by, to maybe sit down and get really kind of serious with yourself around what have the big lessons been for me over this year, and particularly what do I not want to take into the next year with me. What this transit will also show you is where you have rigid beliefs, outdated thoughts, anything that's limiting you is going to become really obvious. Anything that no longer serves you in your mind. So where you've got stuck in, things have to be a certain way. And therefore you don't allow anything kind of new to come into your life. When the universe is maybe offering you a new and different way and you're like, no, this is the way it's got to be. It's going to show you where you've got too rigid. You've got too laser focused. You've got too blinkered, and really show you what it is now that we're ready to let go of. Is almost like a karmic cleanse for the mind, where Saturn's going to show us the rigidity in our lives and where we kept ourselves stuck because we hold, certain thoughts, certain beliefs, certain ways of being, certain limitations. And with that, as we begin to see those limitations and learn from them, remember that when we have these kind of limiting thoughts and beliefs, it's normally trying to protect us from something. And so this is why Saturn, as the teacher of the zodiac coming now, is going to help you to see, oh, I do that thing because I'm afraid of this happening, or I'm afraid of change, or whatever it may be for you. So this is a beautiful time to really sit with those limiting beliefs and the outdated thought processes, and just really look at them and see if you can thread them back to where they came from, where they first started. And once we've done that kind of karmic cleanse for the mind, Saturn then meeting Mercury is going to go, okay, now let's get intentional. Let's get intentional now about what we want. Let's really begin to look long term towards the future. And this is going to really come in actually on New Year's Day in a few days' time. But let's start to get intentional with our thinking. It's going to help you then, as you begin to have that karmic clear out for your mind, and you begin to get intentional then about what you want in its place. This is going to help you then to readjust your boundaries, to readjust your beliefs, to readjust your discipline. Okay, if this is what I want, this is where I always fall off track, this is where I always lose it, this is where I say I'm going to do something and then it gets a few steps down the road and I get knocked off track and I don't do it. It's going to help us to get disciplined and focused and boundaried around our thoughts and our behaviours and our actions and around what it is that we want. So this is going to be a beautiful day that's going to almost set us up and help us to karmically close out the year gone by and have that kind of mind cleanse. Now we then get a really beautiful day on Thursday, on New Year's Day. We first of all get Mercury square Neptune, and then Mercury's going to move into Capricorn. So first of all, as Mercury squares Neptune, we've had this kind of karmic cleanse for the mind. Mercury then meeting Neptune. Remember, Saturn and Neptune are the two planets that in 2026 are going to meet in that exact conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. Once in a lifetime thing that's going to happen. It's going to be huge. It's going to really set us up, not just for the year, but for the future. So now Mercury is working with both of these planets to help us to really move into this year in an intentional way, connected to this bigger energy that's working with us at the moment to really help us to get soulfully and spiritually aligned for the year. So as Mercury then meets Neptune, this is going to bring the connection to the divine, a spiritual discipline. It's going to ask us to move into this new year connected to source, to our higher self, to our soul self, to the universe, to move into the year guided by intuition. So remember, we've cleared our thoughts now, our thoughts that tell us you must do this, you must start the year by this, you must do that, you must get back to the gym, you must go to all those like picky things. We're now going to go in guided by intuition. Be in deep devotion, be in deep ritual, be in honoring to what it is that you want. Bow down to the altar of your soul and say to your soul, guide me into this year ahead. What do you want from me? What do you need from me? How can I best be of service this year? This is asking us to really come into the year connected not to our mind and to societal expectations and what everyone thinks the new year should be, but really almost quietly and gently guided by your soul and inner listening. What do you need from me? I'm here, I'm listening. How can I serve? It's going to help us to really begin to envision and dream. So remember I said at the beginning, it's not necessarily about the action now, but it's about the gentle dreaming. What does my soul want from me for this year? What's possible for me from this year? So visualize, begin to bring in the dream. If you've been having a lot of difficulties or a lot of problems, if 2025 did feel very, very sticky and difficult for you, give it all up to something greater. Give it all up to your soul self. Please show me the lessons from what I went through last year. And please show me now how I can learn these lessons and begin to alchemize this now into embodied wisdom so that I may do things differently this year, so that I may walk through this year guided by my soul. This is a reminder to really walk this year guided by your soul. There could not be a more beautiful way to start the year. So remember, we've had that mind cleanse. Don't leap back up into here. Stay in here. Stay in here in the real wisdom, and that's going to really serve you. Now, as Mercury then moves into Capricorn, this is going to be the plan. Remember, we're not necessarily acting and doing, but we're planning. So Mercury in Capricorn then is going to help you to get future focus. It's going to help you to look to the long term. It's going to help you to say, okay, if I want to be guided by my soul, and my soul has this dream, and this is what I really yearn for this year, how am I going to make this happen? So this is where now we begin to build the mental resilience. We begin to build the belief system that's going to support us in being able to follow our intuition and where our soul wants to guide us through the year ahead. Friday then, really beautiful day Friday again. Chiron's going to station direct. Now, especially with this happening at the very beginning of the year, Chiron is really asking us to tie up emotional loose ends. So we've been in our mind and karmically cleansed our mind. Now we're going to cleanse our emotions. This is going to ask us to really confront our old wounding, particularly that wounding that keeps us shrinking and hiding and dimming and hesitating and not trusting our intuition and not trusting our souls and not trusting ourselves. It's going to ask us to confront these wounds head on and to really see where they came from. And to most of all, really begin to move into this year as a true embodiment of who you are. So Chiron has been in Aries since 2018, working with us all on the wound of I am. That wound of I'm not good enough, I've not got anything to offer, I don't really have a purpose. And so now Chiron moving direct on the 2nd of January is saying, confront these wounds, heal these wounds, face these wounds, and walk into this year as an embodied I am. So what I want you to do on this day is to write a list. And you're going to speak it out loud to yourself. I am confident. I am brave. I am bold. I am of deep service. I am capable of doing anything I put my mind to. I am safe to trust my intuition. I am. I want you to decide who you are moving into this year as. I am. I want you to write the list of who you're going to be this year. I am. And that's what you're going to embody as you move into this year ahead. And then Saturday, gorgeous day to wrap up the week. We get the Cancer full moon. So the moon at home in her ruling sign of Cancer is going to illuminate our way into the year ahead. And this is just going to be such a beautiful, I mean, we're going to have 2 Cancer moons this year, so one now and one in December. So this feels like a year of kind of completion as well, a year where we do look towards the end of the year and where we want to be at that 2nd Cancer full moon, and we really set those big intentions, but intentions for self. So this is a moon that brings you home to yourself, that carries the energy of everything that we've been through and helps you to find an inner security, an inner stability, an inner knowing, to be able to trust your intuition, to be able to know yourself. This full moon is working with the lunar nodes, the nodes of destiny, the nodes of fate. It's working with Saturn and Neptune. It's working with a lot of the key 2026 energy. And so it's a moon that is going to guide us to our highest soul destiny and purpose this year and beyond. It's going to illuminate what is possible for you if you follow your soul and your intuition into the year ahead. It's going to bring you home, into that deep sense of home, that I am energy, that knowing who you are and what you have to offer, and who you can be when you allow yourself to shine brightly. And so on the night of that full moon, if it's possible for you, I want you to go outside. And I used to do this all the time. I'd go outside and I'd gaze up at that full moon and I would ask the moon, I would say, please help me to shine as brightly as you do. Please help me. And so give it all up. Remember that we are part of something way greater. Our souls have chosen to be here at this exact time on earth. And 2026 is the year now that we really begin to make real that collective dream of the kind of world that we want to live in. And this week is really setting us up for that. And speaking of which as well, if you want to know about all the astrology of the year ahead, we're doing a 2026 Cosmic Weather Report on the 30th, and I'll tell you everything about the year. And so please just go into this year shining brightly. I I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me this year. If these reports have helped you in any way, please let me know below. And in that same note, if ever you're in doubt that you make a difference in the world, I sit here at home on my own in my living room every week and do this, and I have no idea if it's going to reach anyone, but I do it and trust that it will. And so just know, when you allow yourself to shine, you can reach people that you don't even know. So I'm sending you so much love as we walk into this new year, and I'll be back next week.